But right now, what is certain is uncertain.
How is trade between India and the US?
India has been one of the largest trading partners. India does a lot of trade with US. I think truly Indian leadership is at its best. India leading BRICS, it's going to be about humanity. When you talk of humanity, all of the problems look smaller than what they actually are. Everybody thought that Trump was kind of with Putin, but he's not. End of the day, peace prevails. End of the day, common sense prevails.
Hello and welcome to the NeUp podcast, where we have a founder focus on the people who bring changes to not just their own business, but also the global world order. And today we have Mr. Guruprasad Sowle, somebody I really consider as my own mentor, who heads a global think tank called Indus International Research Foundation, which connect US and Indian businesses. Now, this is very crucial in a world order which is global and yet local at the same time. I will not be weighing in much on this because I'm not the finance professional here. Guru sir is. So I, on his request, will be calling him just Guru. And this is Guru Purnima today. So I think no better day to interview him. But thank you so much, Guru, for doing this for us.
Thank you, Gauri, and thank you for everything that you're doing. Congratulations on your entrepreneurial journey and welcome to the adventure world. I just wanted to thank all my gurus on this Guru Purnima day. I'm Guru only by name, but I'm still a student. There's a lot to learn and probably there's a lot to learn from you on this podcast.
I'm extremely honored for your humility, sir. But Guru, I want to start off with the question, which is the elephant in the room. How is trade between India and the US? We spoke last year when India visited on a state visit to the US. You were a part of the whole discussions. You met Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well. And now with the whole tariff situation from April 2, which is called Liberation Day tariffs, it's liberation for the US as the government puts it. But for countries like India and our neighbors and the global world order at large, how is trade impacted?
So let me step back a bit. I know there's so much of uncertainty and talk about tariffs. And even in the investing world, in the capital markets, in the United States, one thing that nobody knows and glooming uncertainty is all about tariffs, right? So what we're dealing with is a huge amount of change, a change in the way America is approaching it. So what does it mean, particularly for India-US, right? There are two things. One is historically, India has been one of the largest trading partners. India does a lot of trade with US. I think from technology to other services, India has played a big role in growth in America. Although we are just about 4.5 to 5 million people, Indian Americans, I think the kind of contributions that India has made to American economy has been huge. And just look at the top three tech companies, right? IBM, Microsoft, and Google. They're all, led by Indian Americans. And again, this is not about having a conversation about ethnicity, but it's about driving home the point that India has a huge role to play for American growth as well as Indian growth. Obviously, Indian Americans have a huge role to play in India as well. This tariffs, in my opinion, is going to settle down in some time. We still don't know what percentages will play out. I don't think the deal has happened yet between India and US. I know Piyush Goyal and the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, they're all working intensely to get an optimal deal. At the same time, I must tell you, there's also a silver lining to this. The silver lining is America needs India in as much as India needs America. Not just in technology, areas like aerospace and defense, manufacturing, cybersecurity, intelligence. Also, if you look at the geopolitical situation today, India, in the context of what happened between Pakistan, with China factor going on in the Asian region, in Pacific region, there are too many dynamic factors that are playing into this. So when you talk of a tariff, it's not just going to be a commercial decision there. Okay, I'm in my mind, a lot of geopolitical issues will also come into the play by the time America decides and say, okay, this is 20%, 30%, 40%, whatever it may be. I'm pretty sure with the friendship between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump and the relationship India has had with US for such a long time, there is going to be a equitable deal. And yeah, it's going to be a change. There's going to be a change. There's going to be a little bit of impact on small and medium businesses, on a few sectors maybe. For example, recently, in the big beautiful bill, there's a levy of 1% tax on remittances to India, right? So things like that. So there's going to be some change. At the same time, I think the way Indian economy is galloping to be one of the largest economies in the world, very quickly, I think we'll be the third largest economy. I think the tariffs will fit into the overall scheme of things. But what we're witnessing now is a lot of turbulence, uncertainty, and unfortunately, Gauri, I don't think anyone has a crystal ball. Nobody knows
Yeah.
what it will be, what it's going to look like. We don't know the exact impact. We're waiting for the final policy to be laid out, and then we can get back and assess and say, okay, this is exactly the impact. But right now, what is certain is uncertainty.
That's a very major statement that you've made here, that what is certain is uncertainty. But this is something that everybody has been talking about, and weighing in on a little bit of how I experienced this entire situation is that there is a psychological play at hand. So President Trump is a CEO, and a CEO mindset actually has negotiation tactics. So a lot of experts and analysts have weighed in these tariffs looming in, and the whole looming situation where there is no exact tariff and there is a take back, and there is this looming uncertainty. So this situation actually gives America a leverage to actually maybe manipulate the psyche of probably weaker nations, or probably get them to the negotiating table at their terms. So in this situation, now that you say that the prime minister, you've met the commerce minister and the foreign minister, would you have any insight into their psychology of how they will try to push back, knowing the entire world order, where the US as well needs India, maybe in the Israel-Iran war situation, or the Russia-Ukraine war situation, or when Pakistan and India themselves became adversaries and the US had to step in. Of course, India said that the US had no role in the de-escalation, but still, US is somebody you cannot remove from the global world order. It is somebody very much planted in the entire solar system of not just trade but also polity. So in that perspective, what do you think is India's psychology to counter the US psychology right now?
That's a great question. Let me start by saying all Indian Americans, including yours truly, have complete confidence. Not only confidence, we are inspired by the leadership, and again, this is not about being political in the flavor of this conversation. I think truly Indian leadership is at its best. That team of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Foreign Minister Jaishankar, and Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal is an awesome team, and of course there are other leaders as well. Knowing a little bit about how they approach it, and the solidity with which India has led, whether it was G20 and now India is going to be leading BRICS. You just saw the announcement from the Prime Minister yesterday. He said India leading BRICS, it's going to be about humanity. He's not talking about tariffs, he's not talking about economy, he's not talking about defense, he's not talking about wars. He's saying today it's a call for humanity. And this call coming from India, particularly from a global icon like Narendra Modi, with our legacy from people like leaders and godmen like Mahatma Gandhi, I think India can lead that charge on humanity. And when you talk of humanity, all of the problems look smaller than what they actually are. And that is what Indian leadership is trying to do, and this is just my interpretation. And I think what the Prime Minister is trying to do is trying to rise above all the issues. Okay, rise above all the international politics, the geopolitical, equations and geopolitical risks, and say, look, okay, keep fighting at a lower level, at a higher level. We need to deal with humanity. So it's a right call. It's a great call in my mind to bring the focus to what is important for human beings, right? And then dovetail that to whether it's deal making, tariffs. I know President Trump is a great negotiator. At the same time, negotiation goes both ways, right?
Yes.
And see, there are negotiators who claim they're great negotiators. They're negotiators who negotiate, but they don't claim that they're negotiating, right? So I think India is on the other side. India is awesome in terms of managing. We've been a non-aligned country for ages now, right from our childhood. We've been learning about non-alignment policy and the kind of balance tightrope walk that the foreign ministers do from India from times immemorial has been wonderful. And now, particularly in this situation, rising up at the issue and really talking to US more to promote peace, promote global harmony, and thereby also promote global trade and trade between India and US, I think is the direction India will take. Yeah, it is going to be give some, take some. In a negotiation, you can't lose everything, you can't give everything, but I completely trust the Indian leadership to do what is best, not only for India, but also for Indo-US trade, and knowing fully well that a lot of Indian growth is also dependent on how much we can trade with US and vice versa, which is why there's so much of talk about US-India collaboration. There's so many US-India delegations being exchanged, and we ourselves are building a small bridge between India and US for small and medium segment. So the impact apart, I think the Indian leadership is doing a great job at this moment. They will continue to rise above the issue and kind of do best for humanity.
Wonderful, Guru. And this faith of yours actually emboldens the Indians as well, who don't know what is exactly happening on the other side of things and how Indian Americans are holding up. But before I delve deeper into the US polity of things and how their trade and administration is going in the recently inaugurated Trump era, like a 6-month audit of sorts, and from a little bit of a psychology perspective, I want to first talk about the India-UK FTA, which was lingering for like probably 3 to 4 years, and now it finally got culminated. But there were a lot of people who had problems with, the way India has given way to probably UK liquor, and it has threatened our own businesses and everything. So from a trade export point of view, do you think that India is growing weaker in negotiations with its Western counterparts? Is there a reason behind it? Or whatever happened in the FTA is something that we need to believe in, that it is for the best interest of India?
I think it's in the best interest of India. And as I said, in any FTA discussion, Gauri, there's bound to be some back and forth. We won't get everything, but like I said earlier, we are not going to give away everything. And there are some sectors, unconventional sectors, like you mentioned, liquor. I know there are plenty of liquor manufacturers in India. Liquor is a new sector that's coming up now. 10, 15 years back, apart from United Breweries and a couple of other large liquor companies, we did not see liquor in the startup zone, right? But today there are so many liquor companies, small companies, medium companies. I myself...
Alcobev is a category actually, and there is a cocktail category also, like Jimmy's Cocktails and other such people who are very innovative in their approaches.
Exactly. I don't drink, unfortunately, otherwise I would have probably had better knowledge about the products and brands. But I do know, I have a couple of friends in Bangalore who are doing phenomenally well. They built a medium-sized liquor manufacturing company, which is already a global brand now. And so I think what we're witnessing is a big change, right? And
Even
I
Sula listed, I mean, for a liquor company to list in India, which is
yeah
so much of a taboo,
yeah
when you talked about Mahatma Gandhi, there was a directive principle of state policy that liquor should be banned. And we have two major states, Gujarat and Bihar, where liquor is actually banned.
right.
And despite that, we have a listed company. So, I mean, with the whole growing market and the whole legalization, and we saw how in Delhi, the excise policy was actually generating revenue. Those who want to drink could drink, but at the same time, the money that was being pumped in was helping the welfare schemes. That was the Kejriwal model, which he claimed was working in a certain way. The government didn't believe it in that way, and there was a whole conflict of interest. But coming back to the FTA, I just wanted to understand if we will be at a loss or if it is going to actually be a small impact and we have other things to actually look forward to.
Yeah, I think it'll be a small impact. I think one thing I'd like to mention here is there are new opportunities that are coming up. I am not sure whether it's part of that FTA, but I know India's promoting the small and medium segment substantially well, and then India's manufacturing is also going to go global, which will include UK. I'm pretty sure, and thirdly, there are new sectors. Today, we are not talking about exporting textiles and exporting rice. We're talking about cybersecurity. We're talking about semiconductor. We're talking about manufacturing iPhones for the world.
Yeah.
And also keep in mind the change in geopolitical situation, and with China being where it is, whether it's UK or America, India will be a big part of equation in the trade in sectors that India was not there earlier as much as it should have been. So today I see a huge opportunity for India, irrespective of contours of the free trade agreement. And again, there's always any FTA, right? There's always certain omissions, certain things that will not be in your favor 100%. But I think it's mostly a trade-off where there's going to be some kind of a balance of trade thought that would have gone into that, and I trust the Indian government for that. And again, when we talk of international trade, let's be a bit open-minded, right? We are Indians and we want India to be getting everything their way or our way. But the thing is, if you look at it from a bilateral standpoint, right, it's always give some and take some. I think the focus is on how do we coexist? How do we collaborate? How do we actually make this collaboration a collaboration and not a one-sided equation? And
Definitely.
and that is really where I think this FTA is going to impact favorably. I don't have any negative contours of this UK-India FTA.
No, I believe you because you come with that knowledge and the relevant sectors and the relevant people you are in conversations, I'm sure. But now this brings me to the question of Tesla. So there was always a to and fro of Elon Musk's entry to India. Everybody knows that he had beginnings in China, like America. Then, of course, he went to China. The manufacturing is cheaper there. Right. But then there was the birth of BYD and Xiaomi. And now when you look at Tesla, and you see that they have been trying to start Indian operations, but there's always been a back and forth. Like Tesla is just about to come to India, but then something changes. And then the US president in his Oval Office said that, I don't encourage Musk building in India. And same for the iPhones. There was a whole investment that happened. Tim Cook had to invest in the US. And there were so many reports which claimed that, India will be the saving grace for, all the manufacturing conflict that's going to happen with China or Vietnam for that matter. But now Elon Musk is out of the US government as well. And there is a very visible downfall between the two leaders who themselves, have very strong minds and very CEO mindsets. So where is, of course, I have to be very India-centric in this question. Where does India stand in Tesla's entry, number one, and how will Elon Musk's exodus from the White House impact Tesla's plans to enter India?
This is a very challenging question. I'll try to do my best in answering this. So, can you repeat your first question?
My question is very simple. Like, the root of it is Tesla coming to India? And is Elon Musk's exit from the White House, on the terms that he exited from the White House, going to impact Tesla's entry in India? Because we were going to build Teslas for the world.
Right.
And now we don't know what's going to happen, because we had land in Maharashtra, we had the Chakan region all ready to, which is the hub for, that Tata Motors and all these other brands they build out of India. And, companies like Hyundai are listing. They are South Korean brands and they're listing in India. So we had dreams of Tesla. We had dreams of such a great entrepreneur like Elon Musk. You have to give it, 5 to 6 companies, running them at the age of probably 50 or a little more. That is phenomenal. And now he entered the political circles and now he is not there. So is it going to impact the India entry? Because the EV mandate has been challenged by the big beautiful bill, which you were only talking about.
Right. Yeah, that's a brilliant question. Tesla's move to India, let's kind of divide it into 2 or 3 components, right? One is Tesla moving to India. If I'm in the leadership of Tesla, I'm going to look at it purely from a commercial angle and say, okay, what is the feasibility? What are the economics? What are the geopolitical factors impacting that kind of a move? I remember in my career, I was fortunate enough to be part of moving large banks like JP Morgan, etc., into India, and there are certain parameters with which we work when it comes to locating operations in different countries, etc. And I'm sure Tesla's leadership is already addressing that purely from a business standpoint, right? So is India strategic to Tesla from a business standpoint? That's point one, right? The second point is the whole mix-up. Nobody expected, Elon Musk to be in White House, to be in Doge, and he suddenly, wrote a check of over 200 million, and he was with Trump all the way. And it is just recently that he exited that part of the, career that he probably wanted to build. And now he's launched a new political party. Okay. And
that's the most phenomenal development.
Yeah. And the interesting part is what I'm seeing in social media circulating is Indian Taneja is a treasurer of the political party.
Yes, his
America
own CFO. Party. Basically, his
yeah,
CFO
he's a CFO.
Tesla.
So there's an Indian CFO, okay, driving not only Tesla, is also driving America party. So I think India is in a good position in that sense if you look at it from optics standpoint. Okay.
Definitely. Yeah. He was defending Sriram Krishnan also, who was, supposed to head X operations as well. And he was also being recommended as an AI czar of sorts. Yeah. But then there was a lot of Indo-American hate, and that came towards like Vivek Ramaswamy as well.
Right, exactly. And then coming to, Donald Trump's preference for Tesla not going to India, etc., etc. See, there are a lot of political statements that are coming out every day, right? And markets are reacting, US capital markets, global markets are reacting. I'm not sure whether American companies will be so influenced by political directions on what they should do and what they should not do. Simple logic tells me that if Tesla wants to be in India and if it makes commercial sense, I think they will find a way to make peace with White House and make that happen. If that is needed, I think Elon Musk has the bandwidth to do that. Although he's launched his own political party, see, politics is dynamic, right? It's all time bound, and most of the convictions are time bound in politics.
True.
And we have seen that from times immemorial. So I wouldn't rule out Tesla going to India in spite of all the confusion and chaos that we are seeing today. At the same time, Elon Musk is a very smart businessman. Apart from being a great technologist himself and dabbling with politics, and he literally taken the world to space and
Yeah.
and collaboration with India for Tesla is not just going to be Tesla; it's also going to be space economy. And
Definitely, like they're
yeah,
coming. Starlink is coming to India, which was the
yeah,
biggest development out there.
exactly.
But you know
Yeah,
what interests me a lot, Guru, is that he has himself talked about, Elon Musk has himself talked about having Asperger's syndrome. So
right.
for somebody working in mental health, I am really inspired by his journey. You know, he is a problematic person. We cannot deny that. He's very erratic. He's got scuffles with Scott Bessent, which have gone physical, is what has been told, you know, to those scoops in media and everything. I was covering it till the last day when I was with my last publication.
Sure.
But, this brings me to my next question of how the global order has become something like, if you analyze leaders, we had Rajiv Gandhi, then we almost had Rahul Gandhi take a very important position in India. We have Justin Trudeau, who is the son of a former Prime Minister, Pierre Elliott Trudeau. So there was a whole movement of, the successors of politics and, the diplomacy play, and Obama being like a true and true statesman. Now we have leaders like Elon Musk,
Right.
Donald Trump, and Elon Musk probably can rise to the ranks. We've got Mark Carney, who was with Goldman Sachs, and then he headed the Bank of England, he headed the Bank of Canada, and now he's the Prime Minister of Canada. We have Keir Starmer, who was actually a public prosecutor, the Germany Chancellor. He also is somebody who's come from the private sector. So there is a whole intermix of trade folks, of people who have been from the corporate sector, actually take decisions for corporate. Now, challenging the thought that these politics guys don't know about corporate. So now the corporate is running the world. So how do you see yourself in this whole sphere as a trade analyst and, as somebody who's rooted in small and medium businesses, leveraging, the strengths of India and the US simultaneously?
So I'll just take a step back. You touched upon a very important point, the mental health and how people can be erratic and yet be very, very successful, right? I'll just take a minute of that if you're okay on that dimension.
Definitely, sir.
Yeah. So mental health has been a challenge. I think not just for India or America, for people all over the world, right? And there are people who have had mental health issues, who've come out of depression. We know Bollywood actors, we know sportsmen, we know cricketers, we know businessmen, we know politicians who've had mental health issues, but they learned to cope with it and they overcome that. Today, thanks to technology, thanks to social media, courses in motivation, in happiness. I know many of my friends, when they drive to work, what they listen to is not news, not music. They just switch on a motivational video and they keep listening to it until they reach their office every morning, right? So I think the lifestyle has changed completely, and also the resources available to kind of treat yourself or cure yourself if you have mental health issue.
That is brilliant. That is something that I wasn't aware in India. I mean, if that's the case, then Sowle School runs a podcast which people can, listen to on their way to work.
Absolutely, I think that's happening. That's happening big time in my immediate network. I see a lot of people. There's a lot of mental healing that is happening at all levels, right? I also wanted to take this opportunity to make a point here. I think what we really need, Gauri, as far as mental health is concerned, of course, Elon Musk has done a great job, and he's a runaway success overcoming all the issues. But everybody is not Elon Musk, right? What I feel is India has, art of living. Okay, it's I think biggest gift, God sent gift to mankind and God sent gift to India, that Sri Ravi Shankar is leading this movement of promoting peace, harmony, and happiness. Okay, they have something called happiness course, right? They have meditation. They have so many other motivational courses. My personal view is right from school, college, from younger days, I think art of living kind of courses, particularly, motivational courses, happiness courses should be part of the curriculum from school in structured education. I think, see, we all grew up learning a lot about, science, maths, social studies, history, etc. But nobody taught us how to be happy. Okay, we're still learning.
Definitely.
We're still learning. But there are
Yes.
happiness courses now from institutions like Art of Living, and there are many other institutions as well.
Definitely. No, I will take this, minute to talk about the Sowle School, because
Sure.
we have a very Western come Indian approach to how we deal with mental health. So even if
Right.
today I have to get an executive coach, or probably I have to be an executive coach for an executive person, like a CXO level person today, or probably a personal coaching also for a student, for example, there's a 30-second analysis into health, relationship, career, and money. We see how your metrics are out of 10, and this is not AI, this is actual metrics which you calculate. The way when you go to a optics store, you tell them that you can see this letter, you cannot see this letter. So same way, you have to tell your marks yourself, that are you at a -5, are you at a +5, are you at a 10 in this category right now? And based on that, we devise a strategy on what to work on and how to work on. And happiness lies within us. We are searching it
Absolutely.
in multiple things. We're searching for it in money,
True.
we're searching for it in reputation, in relationships, in whatever other quantity that we can, but ourselves. But it is the inner child within us who actually knows what we really need. So I mean, I'm really grateful that you touched upon this point. And it is so important for people to actually take care of their mental health. And even for Indians who do not have the resources, they go to YouTube and they have so many well speakers, rooted in spirituality or rooted in Western science or in
Right.
the intermix of both. BK Shivani from the Brahma
Yeah,
Kumaris.
absolutely.
So many people have actually, contributed to this space.
Absolutely. I think all of this, in some form or the other, should be part of the education curriculum from childhood. So we're kind of nurturing the next generation with
Yes,
tools
what is
to deal
happening
with.
is somebody is turning 20,
Yeah.
and then they're coming to me and they're like, my inner child is damaged. What if at 6 years of age only they
Yeah.
could talk in school that I am not feeling well today. You don't have to need to have a stomach ache. I
Exactly.
can tell you one instance of somebody I know. They always
Absolutely.
used to
Yeah.
get a stomach ache in before their exams.
Yeah.
But that was anxiety. And this is the similar thing that happened to me in the newsroom. I was feeling nauseous. So we take notice of our mental health only when it manifests into a physical disease.
Exactly.
And I can tell you from my own study, because I've done certification in this category, cancers and tumors are a result of any kind of mental frustration and guilt.
Right.
So it's something that can cure people of all ages if they just know what their problem is. And meditation is the route to actually know. So even as I follow techniques like CBT and NLP, which are very much rooted in Western science, I have to take people in meditation. And this is a very interesting take. My own therapist is somebody who studied in Nottingham, UK.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
this girl then came to India, did a course on clinical hypnotherapy, and went to Rishikesh for her exams, So she actually did sadhana, meditation. And through
Sure.
meditation only, I could understand that I don't have bipolar disorder. It is
Right.
basically something rooted in my childhood that was triggering, the mania and the melancholy. So in the similar fashion, everybody, and I personally believe that the biggest diseases like schizophrenia need not be medically, diagnosed. They can be actually cured through meditation, through knowing oneself. I have seen tangible changes in my own clients, who have come from all walks of life. Probably somebody who's been molested, probably somebody who has battled schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. Only through a week of dedicated, timely meditations, they have actually, faced so many, wonderful changes in their life. Which is why, I
Absolutely.
urge everyone to, those who have resources to come and, invest in their mental health, because this is an investment not for your present life but also for your future life and your past self. You absolve yourself of this whole karmic cycle. So in Christianity, it is said that it is a linear way of living, but Hinduism is cyclic. We don't stop taking birth until and unless we resolve the issues. So why don't we, take a minute and resolve the issues of this lifetime, so that probably we're absolved of them in the next birth?
No, that's a great point. And also I believe, Gauri, that every soul on this earth deserves to be happy. Right?
Definitely.
And we all have enough wisdom collectively across the globe to kind of figure out what will bring that happiness from the time the child is born. It's not just you address it when somebody goes into a problem. Prevent the problem, right? And prevent the problem, encourage more schools of meditation, schools of happiness, do a PhD in happiness course. Why not? Right?
Definitely. I think that's the need of the hour. We need happiness indexes. We need countries which can be pioneers of happiness. And India is actually, as you said, the core of humanity comes from us. Absolutely. Be it Buddha, be it Rama, be it, Vishnu, be it Shiva. All of these people have actually risen from the ashes to sadhana, and sadhana is what can absolve. Like, if you sit with yourself for 5 minutes and close your eyes and ask yourself what you truly need, you'll know that probably your happiness lies in an ice cream today, or it probably lies in some acknowledgement from your loved ones. So you won't need to go and take acknowledgement from the world. And these statures and awards and reputations, they're something that will make you immortal, yes, but they will not make you truly happy if you don't know what your inner child needs.
Absolutely. And this will also have a very favorable impact on deal making, politics, tariffs, or whatever, all the topics that you covered, since we began the conversation this morning. It will have an all-round impact. And this needs to build into the DNA of how people interact with each other. And of course, that's a whole new topic, and I think I've already deviated from your main question substantially.
No, my question was now it connects. The digression actually connects. So we have people, if you've studied MBA, Guru, you might know that they actually teach about, marketing psychology and certain aspects of human mind while handling finance and operations.
Sure.
So now we have people who've studied the human mind. We have people who've studied trade, and they are now taking the policy roles instead of somebody who's inherited this position or who somebody, played to get across.
Right.
So these corporate folks are the same people who are actually taking executive coaching as well from somebody or the other. I've seen that the corporate segment is very open to mental health discussions, to employee wellness, and these programs have actually taken up in the past 5 to 10 years. I'm not sure of how much impact it is on the US audience, but yes, the US audience has been very, very sensitive to mental health and timing out and avoiding burnouts and everything, and India is soon catching up. Like, I know government agencies who have mandates of actually investing in the CSR and employee wellness programs, which take care of wellness and, mental health of their employees. So they have the money and resources to put in the right places, but the right places are now slowly cropping up. So one of them is the Sowle School. But coming to the main question, how do you feel like a Mark Carney or like a Keir Starmer or like a Frederick Merz can actually, play tango with a person like Donald Trump, or if Elon Musk rises to these power circles, because these are the same people who've built businesses and corporates from the ground up. And how do you see yourself, evolving in this spectrum? Like, do you see yourself also taking up a political role sometime?
That's a very interesting question. I've never thought about it. Well, I think if you look at all the personalities you named, of course, President Donald Trump was also a businessman to begin with, right? He was born to a business family. And see, what's happening today is across the globe, there's a need for a sound economy. There's a need for collaboration. And I'm actually happy that more and more people from different walks of life, like education, commerce, and other sectors are going into politics, because that's really where they have an opportunity to call the shots, pass legislation, and make a favorable impact. Okay, and everyone is different. And you're running a soul school, Gauri. You will agree with me that every soul is on his own journey, right? So
Yes.
and so every leader, whether it's Trump or there's Marconi, they're in their own journeys. The
Definitely.
point here is how do we establish a point of convergence, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, some souls are so drifted that they don't want to converge. Some souls are very aligned and they want to converge, right? And at the basic level, this is what is happening today. But I think there are enough leaders in the world to kind of rationalize. You see what happened just a couple of days back. And, Trump, he did say that Putin is wrong, and he should not be in the war, and everybody thought that Trump was kind of with Putin, but he's not. He's seeing things. He's changing his outlook. He's saying, okay, now enough of BS. Putin,
Yes.
let's make things happen. So I think it will come around. I think common sense will prevail. I think if you look at the way the world has evolved, if you go back in history, right, there have been revolutions, there have been independence movements, there has always been upheavals, but end of the day, peace prevails. End of the day, common sense prevails, and end of the day, more so today than ever before. I think the need for global economy, global collaboration is extremely critical, because today it's not about one country being rich. Today it's about combining global resources for a favorable impact is what we need. So if you can't combine global resources, nobody will be rich. They think they're rich, but they're not. Correct. And I must also mention on the same note, it's not just business men going into politics. You also have professionals now. You have Sudha Murthy, who's a Rajya Sabha member. You have Piyush Goyal himself, who's a chartered accountant, and we are so proud of him as a fellow chartered accountant. Yeah. So,
Sushma Swaraj.
Exactly. So I think it is changing for good. I really welcome this new mix in Parliament, new mix in Senate, in Congress, and maybe in different parliamentary bodies outside India-US as well.
That's a wonderful observation. But what you said has stuck with me, that peace will prevail, common sense will prevail. And, humanity is the key word for a global order, which is so chaotic right now, where we don't know what the next morning is going to bring. So, that brings people like you and me in a very critical position to, not just mentor ourselves, but also, calm the nerves of the people around us, rather than, relaying on negativity and, feeding on the fears of people. But thank you so much, Guru, for this wonderful discussion and, the time that I have with you. I want to keep extending the discussion and, keep learning from you and keep knowing more. But I know that, you are also tight on schedule, and we will definitely meet again. We'll definitely take an update on how the tariff situation has panned out, how India and US small and medium trade is doing in the ground in real time. But thank you so much, and keep watching NeUp for the latest news and updates.
Thank you, Gauri.